There's this app on GitHub. So it's a free app. It's called Damn Vulnerable Node.js Application, DVNA. So we went over how to start Node.js on your local laptop. So we showed you how to do it on your command line. But I did get some comments from students who were saying it was difficult installing the npm, which is the Node.js. So here's actually another way we can run websites where you don't have to install npm, but it'll be in a virtual environment. So I'm sure people are familiar with some virtual environments. So one of them is VirtualBox, where you can have your own. It's even like your own virtual computer within your computer. So it allows you to make more like custom environments and make environments that are like abstracted away from your computer. So you don't have to worry about installing stuff. Everything is all installed. So another one other than VirtualBox is Docker. So I think Docker is even easier. So Docker specifically is a container virtual application. So I think it's even easier than things like virtual machine. So you can see here on this quick start, we have Docker, this Docker command, and that's all you need to get this website up and running. So let's actually try to, well, the first thing you'll need to do is install Docker. So if you just search Docker on Google, you can see it's really popular. There's a Wikipedia article on it. So you just go to this page, go to get started. And if you're on the Mac, download from Mac. If you're on Windows, there's also some Linux engines, it looks like. So since I was on Mac, I installed it myself here. So what you're gonna do is just install Docker, and then you're gonna go to your programs, right? And just start Docker. And on the first try of starting Docker, you might have to give it some kind of permissions, like give it administrative permission to install itself. That's normal and that's fine. And if you're really worried about it, you can always do it on a different account on your laptop or within a virtual machine itself. But I trust what I'm doing with Docker, so I think it's okay. So yeah, go ahead and install Docker, and you might have to type in a password or say, okay, give it some privileges. So after you do that, then Docker should be up and installed. So I already installed it, and just make sure that your Docker, which is this little, it's like a whale with some boxes on it. Like it's a container ship, because they're Docker containers. So it should be green. All right, so hope everyone was able to do that, follow along. So after you've done that, just install the Docker container for this damn vulnerable Node.js application. So you're just going to, let's see, where was that command? Yeah, just copy paste this into your, well, ignore that. But yeah, you're just gonna copy paste it into your command line like this, hit enter. And so on this first run, it's just saying some output like, okay, it was unable to find this image appsecco/DVNA, and you can see that's the GitHub repository. So now it's gonna pull the source code that it needs to run this application onto your Docker container. So you can see it's downloading the files. SQLite is database, so it's doing some like storing of data right now. So yeah, this takes a little bit of time. While this is running, if for people that are in the live class, if you could try to install Docker from docker.com. So it's a vulnerable application. It's basically a website that has these vulnerabilities. So it's going to mimic like a website that might have some bugs in it. So if you wanted to be a bug bounty hunter, this is a perfect environment to practice your skills in. And let's see, it should have some kind of guide here. And also the cool thing about this website is they have solutions for how to fix those vulnerable issues. So right here, you saw the DVNA, DVNA/docs/solutions has all the solutions for how to fix these issues. So today we're going to go over cross-site scripting, also known as XSS. So when they say A7 here, what they're actually referring to is OWASP top 10. And what OWASP top 10 web application security risks. So what that means is these are the top 10 most common vulnerabilities or flaws, right? So these are the top 10 mistakes that engineers make when they're programming their websites. So these are really important ones to know and to look for if you're doing bug bounty hunting, or if you're just trying to keep your own website secure. This is really important stuff to look for. So you can see the first one, injection. Remember the last class I was talking about, like your website is like a machine and it takes input, and if you put in bad input, then you can break that machine. So a lot of these are like injection, right? They're talking about breaking authentication, sensitive data exposure, like releasing passwords, XML, external entities, misconfiguring, some kind of XML document processes, misconfigurations, like just misconfiguring things. Let's see, broken access control. That means like you're not restricting your users the right way, and maybe someone can get past your login form. And then cross-site scripting, which is the one we're going to go over in detail. So, all right, so the downloaded, finished installing the Docker container. So cross-site scripting has to do with injecting JavaScript into a website or injecting HTML. So you can also do both. So yeah, I think definitely important to go over these. Insecure deserialization, that has to do with like let's say in the URL, there's some kind of input there, like you're searching, like it's like a username or something like that. And maybe someone could start putting in like commands and stuff like that. And that could be a way that someone could do some kind of remote code execution just because you're not deserializing properly. So we can get into more like advanced topics like that in the class. Let's just get started with this basic cross-site scripting, number 7. So you can see number 7, there it is, a WASP top 10, number 7. So here it's talking about how you can actually fix this. And here's the actual vulnerable code snippet. And that refers to right here, like views/app, right? So they're saying that it's the search field that's vulnerable. So let's actually go in here and let's see this. So after this completed, this line of Docker, it started a website on my laptop. So this what you're seeing here on this website it's not going to be accessible to you or anyone else. They have to be on your laptop to see this website. And this URL 127.0.0.1, that basically means your local computer. Like that's like the address for your local computer. But it needs a port. So there's a specific port that it's running off of on your local computer, and that's what these numbers have to do with. So you can see that once I hit my local, and then on this port, Docker was running it on my 9090 port. So you can see there it is, 9090. So that's what it is. So let's try to actually hack the site. So I'll log in or register myself. I'll just make a quick login. That's not my actual. Let's do a real email, and then I'll just make up a password. It doesn't have to be anything. They're not restricting. So that's actually a problem right there. So they're not restricting on what kinds of passwords you can put in. So like you could put a password like 123 and 123, and let's see if that works. So yeah, that was bad. That's a bad practice on the website right there. I think that's a vulnerability. So if someone is able to put in a password of length 3, you could guess that pretty fast with like a random number and letter generator that just goes through all the different combinations. So yeah, you want to shoot for at least maybe like 8 or 9, and then maybe special characters on the password for website. So yeah, that was just a bad practice. Okay, so let's get into, well, if you see the main page for this fake website, you can see, actually, let me stop. I want to make sure I'm answering questions. Does anyone have any questions before I move on about anything I covered? Just drop me a chat. All right. So this is showing all the top 10 OWASP, and then there are these 2013 ones they wanted to include. And I think these are also really important. But we're going to zoom in on the cross-site scripting issue. So there's 2 different kinds of cross-site scripting. One of them is called reflected, the other is called stored. So reflected, think of that as like you're going to put something in a comment section, and you're going to put some JavaScript or some HTML into a comment section, and when you submit that comment and it shows on the web page, it's like reflecting back on every user that visits that web page. Stored cross-site scripting, or XSS, is more to do with when you're going to like save some well, let's see. Actually, sorry, the reflected one is just you're doing it on the fly. Like let me, I think it's just, actually I can probably just do, yeah, see, this is the reflected one. It's just like on the fly. Alert, I'll just say hello buggy app, and put spaces in there too. All right, so this is going to be the reflected one. There. So I just put in the search for this page to just execute and like immediately run and reflect my JavaScript code that I ran that's just said throw an alert that says hello buggy app. So that is a vulnerability. That's a bad one. And the other one is stored XSS, and that's the one I was referring to with the comment section. So when you're storing it into a comment section or into a database, then in a way it does get reflected back, but you're storing it, so it'll get reflected multiple times, not just one. So think about like reflected is just one execution, and then stored is like multiple reflections because it's stored. So let's see what we can do here. So let me just add some products here, just for example. Okay, so I'll do this. I'll add one more. Say it's a app description. All right, so right, looks like a normal app. you're able to save these products. But what can we do bad with this? Can anyone in the class think about something that could go wrong with something like this? If let's say that you know, everyone at a company, or even random people, like, you know, have access to changing some of these. Does anyone have any ideas? All right, well, what you could do is you could make it so that anytime a person accesses this page, if they read your comment, you can redirect them to your website. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I found this on stackoverflow.com. Stackoverflow.com has the best computer scientists and engineers, software engineers, cybersecurity engineers. That's where all the pros are. And they are really good at answering questions, and there's a really big community here. Like you can see on this, this is just the title of the question, and here's where the person asks the question, right? So Darman asked the, well, it looks like Matthew asked it, and then Darman edited his question for some reason. That's weird. But this question was asked at this time. Maybe some admin edited. So they got 12 upvotes, and then here are 2 answers. So people are saying, like, how can you redirect a page on load? So here's one way. You can insert HTML here. So let's see if we can actually do this. Let me just try it out. So let's say I can edit just a description on one of the products. Like maybe let's say that I just have access to edit a description. And then I think if I add a quotation mark here, there it is. So it got redirected to thispage.com, wherever that is. So this is just some made up website, right? So there it is. You got redirected to redirect to thispage.com. And every time I try to access, well, let me save this. Every time I try to access that page, I'm going to get redirected to that website. So let's try, where was it? Yeah. So now I'm going to go back here, and bam, I got redirected. So I could do another example. So I can go back to that comment, right, or this this description, and I can redirect people to datasophical.com now. So yeah, now you have to go to my blog. And that's definitely misusing and abusing the website. Don't do this to anyone's website unless you have their permission. If you're a bug bounty hunter, follow the guidelines of the bug bounty program. Don't try to redirect people to your website on your comments, because they're going to go to your website and they're going to figure out, oh, maybe this person hacked me. And you can get in trouble for that kind of thing. But in this environment, it's just a restricted environment. It's for learning. This is totally fine. No one can see this. But yeah, as you can see, reflected XSS, when they try to access this website, it's going to redirect them to my website. And they can't change it unless they have this access to edit this description. And here I can change it back. And now it's fixed. So yeah, now it's fixed. So yeah, that was an intro to cross-site scripting exploits and how to redirect people on websites. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed the class, and please join the video game programming class tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific time, and please join the next cybersecurity class next Monday at 6 p.m. PST. Thanks everyone for joining. Bye.